What is going on, traders? We got a few things to talk about. We're just going to get straight into it. Like, subscribe, comment your thoughts below. Let's get into the video. So in our last video, I told you guys, or I let you guys know that institutions were loading up on SPY puts, specifically SPY puts for 525 strike with an expiration date of May 30th, 2025. They were loaded at 536, between 536, 537. As you guys can see, the quantity was about 5,000, 5,000, 4,835. They were all at the ask. So anytime something is at the ask, it means that they are more likely in the position, or they open to position. Anything at the bid, it means that they are more likely to sell that position, or they are out of the position. And then you see the premiums are 7 million, 7 million, 7 million. And so one thing I was letting Discord members know today, despite any upside we were getting, that these positions were still open, and I just could not trust any upside we were getting. And it seems like I was pretty much right on the money. Another thing that was really bothering me was semiconductors. They just wasn't moving the way I wanted them to move when we were seeing this upside happening across the market. And so if we are looking at the SPY right now, a key level that I gave you guys in the last video was 538. And if you paid attention today, you saw that we had a very hard time staying below 538. And then after hours, around close, we finally saw that breakthrough below 538. As long as we stay below 538 on the SPY, we are opening up the floodgates towards 527. Now, it's obviously a key level before that, but you do have space and opportunity to head much lower. Right now, your next key level is 533. If you're paying attention to after hours right now, you're seeing that the SPY is having a hard time getting below 533. So we could see a little turbulence here. Maybe tomorrow's news, we actually break through this. But if you get below 533, you're heading towards 527. After 527, 525. And then if you pay attention here, and by the way, we're on the 2-hour time frame. If you pay close attention here, you see that buyers are very much present in this area at around 522, between 522 518. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens once we get within this range, if we get within this range, which I do think is very much possible. I find it hard to believe that we just gave up 538 just to head right back up towards the upside. I think that would be pretty annoying and frustrating for bears, right? And I imagine bulls as well, because it's like, what does the market want to do at this point? And so another thing that I pointed out in our last video, I don't think I pointed this out on the SPY, but I was letting you guys know that there are reversal patterns, right? And I let this be known in the Discord today that I just cannot trust any upside, because you have this reversal pattern. Let's just get rid of everything here real quick. But you have this reversal pattern right here, this hammer pattern right here. You can argue it's a hangman pattern. I'm not convinced that this is a hangman pattern, but if it looks like the pattern, assume that it is until proven otherwise. But regardless, you're seeing a reversal hammer pattern, and so that led me to believe that any upside we were getting was most likely a trap. And so if we go back a little bit, we go to the weekly time frame here, we see that we zoom out, we see that we are trading within this massive rising channel, right? And so I do think at some point you are going to head back towards the bottom of this rising channel at around 495. Lowest we could be looking at on the SPY is about 465, especially if we break below this channel. We're pretty much in trouble here. Okay, so you definitely want to be careful trading any upside, in my opinion. All right, do what you want. I know a lot of you like go back and forth in the comments saying we're heading towards all-time highs and all that fun stuff, but there's really no incentive to believe that. There's no news backing up that claim. The positive news that we did get, that we got over the weekend, Donald Trump pretty much took that back, or he said it was fake news as far as like chips being exempt from tariffs and cell phones, smartphones are being exempt. He pretty much just said that was all fake news, so he took it all back. So when you guys are asking me in the comments, you were just bullish that one video and now you're bearish again. Look, I can't control what the president does, all right? It's clearly a Trump's market. If he says something bullish, the market's going to react bullish. If he says something bearish the next day, the market's going to react bearish. So you just gotta adapt, all right? You just gotta adapt. So I'm sorry if I seem like I keep flipping, but hey, be mad at the president. He keeps changing his mind over and over. We're clearly seeing that. If you want to be mad at me, by all means, but I can only do so much, okay, when we have a psychopath constantly changing his mind over and over and flipping the market back and forth. And so that's pretty much what I have for the SPY. Key level obviously was 538. Your next level is 533. And then from there, you're heading towards 527. I do believe that if these are still in play, which I think they're obviously still in play. These guys are absolutely making a bag right now. We're going to head below 525, especially with this amount of premium. You just don't take these types of premiums lightly, especially when they're back to back to back, like 7 million, 7 million, 7 million. You don't take this lightly. So it's kind of crazy when some of you in the comments are like, yeah, you're being biased and we're heading towards all-time highs, but I'm showing you stuff like this, what institutions, the guys that literally move the market, are doing, and we're still like going back and forth about all-time highs and how I'm being biased. But I mean, the proof is here, guys. All right, the proof is here. All right, so that's what I'm looking at as far as the SPY. Let's look at the futures. Some of you like when I go over the futures, so I'm trying my best to go over it more often. It's just nothing was really happening for the past few days. I honestly wasn't even going to make a video until I saw what happened after hours, right? But here, I mean, you just kept consolidating. So when it comes to the NASDAQ, your key level here was 18,800. You're officially below this level. As long as you stay below 18,800, you're heading towards 18,500. Now, it's important to note that you have a lot of bulls in this area, like a lot of bulls. Okay, so a lot of bulls are in this area. So we do have news tomorrow. I imagine in order for us to break further down, at least below these guys here, you're going to need good, I mean, not good news, but bad news, right? And so we have Jerome Powell speaking tomorrow as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see how things react here. But just like you have bulls down here, you also have bears up here as well. Now it's not it's not the same. I mean, obviously bulls are very much present in this area, a lot more than up here. But this is something you definitely want to pay attention to at around 18,500. You definitely want to be careful here. But the fact that we're playing games within this range just tells me that bulls are slowly losing control, right? So you definitely want to go into tomorrow just being very, very careful for upside, because we've seen all week so far that bulls are just not in control, right? They keep trying to push us up, and bears step in every chance they get. We just cannot get that level of 550 on the SPY. I know I talked about that. We headed as high as about 544. I mean, take it or leave it. If that's not enough for you, I don't know what to say. Actually, we headed as high as 545, but if that's not enough for you, I don't know what to tell you. All right, but that's what I'm looking at for the NASDAQ. 18,700, I mean 800 was your key level. You broke below that, you're gapping below that, and your next level is 18,500 on the NQ. I'm not going to really call any levels below that until I see what happens here, because again, there's just a lot of bears in this area, like a lot. What I will say is that there is a massive fair value gap in this range down here at around 17,000. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. You guys let me know what you think about that in the comments below. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at when it comes to the NASDAQ. And yes, I'm going to be biased towards the downside because everything points towards the downside, right? So, you have death crosses everywhere. The NASDAQ made a death cross. The ES had made a death cross. SPY, death cross. I mean, everything is making a death cross. So yes, we're below the 200 MA as well. So there's no reason for me to be focused on upside. There's no reason for anybody to be focused on upside because the downside is pretty obvious right now. So, I mean, if you're just going to ignore that, then you're in denial. I'm sorry, you're just in complete denial at this point, right? So, when we're looking at the ES, your key level here for the ES is 5380. You're pretty much trading right here. After 5380, you're heading towards 5340. And then if you manage to get below 5340, there's a lot of turbulence in this area, all right? A lot of turbulence. But if you can stay below 5340 on the ES, you open up the floodgates towards 5200. All right, 5200. So want to be careful here, want to pay attention here. Again, there's just no incentive to be bullish anymore at this point. I mean, can we head back towards the upside? Absolutely, but I think we're going to see at least a little bit more downside before we start talking about more upside, or at least a convincing upside, more convincing upside. And so that leads me to the VIX. And so I pointed out to Discord members today. So just to be transparent, we jumped into Apple calls, and then we ended up taking a loss on it simply because we only took like a $5 loss per contract. We pretty much jumped in, and then I jumped right out like almost like 5 minutes later, because I actually looked at the VIX, and I was like, wait a minute, we probably shouldn't be jumping into calls right now, right? And I did see institutions were jumping into 215 calls for next week with Apple, so you can do what you want with that information. And Apple was, as long as Apple stays above 198, it was very much possible that Apple could see more upside. But then I ended up looking at the VIX here, and I was like, yeah, nah, we need to close those positions. And I'm really glad we did. I was like, we need to get out of Apple quick, because it looks like things are going to tank, right? It looks like the VIX is about to take off. And as you guys can see, we were at this support level pretty much majority of the afternoon, or I should say supply and demand zone, pretty much the majority of the afternoon between 28.5 and 29.5, right? So yes, I do take losses. I know I show you guys wins all the times, but we absolutely take losses here and there. It's nothing crazy. I mean, it was like a $5 loss on Apple. It is what it is, but regardless, a loss is a loss, right? So I don't ever want to give the impression when someone joins the Discord that we're going to win 100% of our trades. Were we on a crazy win streak? Absolutely. Does my wins outweigh my losses? It's not even close. All right, the wins are way ahead of my losses right now. So I think we're like 22 and like 5 or something, but ultimately, well, for at least the past 4 weeks, but ultimately the VIX here, you are, yeah, you're in a pretty crazy zone here. So we go to the 4-hour time frame. I just realized I was on the daily, and as you guys can see, we rejected here, rejected here, we rejected here, and we pretty much majority of the day, at least majority of the afternoon, we were just chilling here on the VIX. Like, we were just slowly trickling down and just mounting this level while the SPY was attempting to climb higher, and we just could not break higher, right? And so what I was looking for the VIX, and this was while the VIX was within the supply and demand zone, like literally just in the supply and demand zone, right? And so what I wanted to see was the VIX close above the supply and demand zone at around 29.5, and that's exactly what we got. And the moment we closed above 29.5, the market immediately tanked. Like, the SPY immediately tanked. So the levels are powerful here. So I do believe that the VIX is going to start seeing upside from here. And right now, at least for the short term, I'm looking at this gap fill right here. All right, all the way at 37, between 37, 37.5. I'm looking at this gap fill. So I do think the VIX is going to see more upside. You also have a morning star pattern. You don't have to necessarily take that serious because I don't think the VIX really follows patterns like that, like candlestick patterns like that. But you know, I mean, there is a bearish engulfing pattern here and it played out, so I could be wrong about that. But one thing I pointed out to you guys in the last video as well is that you had this inverted hammer pattern, and like I tell you guys all the time, patterns do not have to play out right away. All right, if they played out right away, well, everybody will be multimillionaires, right? But you had this inverted hammer pattern here, as well as a hammer pattern on the SPY and triple Qs for the daily time frame. So that was kind of bugging me majority of the day, and that's why it was hard for me to like really trust any upside. So you are looking at a morning star pattern. So I do think the VIX is going to head towards at least 37, 37.5 before potentially heading back towards the downside. I am aware that this gap is down here as well, so it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I think once the VIX fills this gap, it's very much possible that we could see upside. We'll see. But again, like I said, I think in the last video, I don't think the bottom is in. All right, I just don't think the bottom is in. I've showed you guys multiple times how that works. So we'll see. All right, we will see. Sorry, I'm trying to make my videos shorter because you guys seem to like the much shorter videos. It's kind of a mixture, but I'm starting to see a better rating on the much shorter videos. So I'm trying to keep them short and try to ramble a lot less. I know I ramble a lot, guys. I'm working on it, so just bear with me. One last thing, I don't. If you are offended by anything I'm saying, I'm not. Anything I say on this channel, go find another channel. Please do. All right, I'm not here to act like somebody I'm not. I'm not going to be super professional. If I wanted to be professional, I'll go work for somebody. All right, I work for myself. I'm my own boss. I pick my own time. I make my own rules. So I'm not going to act like some super professional guy that's, you know, trying to be all cool and everything. Like, no. I'm going to be myself on my channel. I'm going to be myself in the Discord. We're going to talk crap. We're going to make jokes, all that fun stuff on this channel. So if you're looking for somebody that's overly professional and acting like somebody they're not, I'm not that guy. So that's all I got to say about it, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think this is a bear trap? Do you think, you know, SPY just is trapping everybody once again, and then we're going to head towards, you know, the upside all over again, heading into maybe the rest of this week? Historically, short weeks are bullish, right? What do you think is going to happen with Jerome Powell? You know, I really like hearing you guys' thoughts. I try to respond to not any, but everybody. If I can't respond to you, then it's either I'm not getting notifications on the channel video anymore. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Discord link will be in the description below. Until the next video, traders, have a good one.